Oh, come on. Hey, now, y'all. How we doing today on a Tuesday morning here in the Bay? The sun is out. The sky is blue. I'm feeling pretty good. The hills are still green, by the way, which I really dig because when you get all that rain like we had this year, Creative Tony, we get some nice rolling green hills up here in the North Bay, kind of reminiscent of, honestly, what you might see over in Ireland. But then we're a couple of months away from the sun really starting to beat on those hills and everything turns brown. So I'm enjoying my green rolling hills with my Irish fantasies today, Creative Tony. How's your head? I see you're robed up. How's everything going down in the peninsula today, buddy?
It's wonderful. And can I just go into song real quick?
I would encourage that.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Is that right? Okay.
We're talking about the hills, and yes, the hills are green and plush.
Well, time out.
Lovely.
On behalf of our guests tomorrow night, which I might as well promote right now because there's a connection here, Tony. Stand by. First off, I want to remind everybody to tune in tomorrow night for our Wednesday night flight. We are bringing back out of the vaults, dude, out of the time machine that says Murph and Mac. And you know who's inside with tomorrow's date set to open the doors and he can exit and join us? How about Pecan, everybody? Pecan's joining us tomorrow night.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, if Pecan was here, that's Patrick Connor, y'all. Great producer with the Murph and Mac show for several years. One of our healthiest runs ever was when we had Pecan at the helm. Now, you're talking about the hills are alive with the sound of music. If Pecan was here right now, you know what he'd say?
What?
Creative Tony, that's a flagrant violation of the rule book of Iron Maiden. If you're talking hills, you better be talking Run to the Hills. Okay,
see, I prefer to look at Julie Andrews than I do Bruce Dickinson. Apologize.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I understand. What about Steve Harris?
No, Julie Andrews forever. What about Mary Poppins and Sound of Music? That's all you need to say, right?
What about Adrian Smith? I'm running out of Iron Maiden names here. No, Adrian Smith. Okay. I tried. I threw the big three at you. I threw the big three. I threw Harris.
Like to frolic the hills with Julie Andrews. That's all I want to do. I just want to frolic the hills. With Julie Andrews and ever sing to me, if that's okay.
That's fine with me. You do whatever you need to do on a Tuesday. I'm fine with that. By the way, coming up today, we have a very special guest. Tim Anderson's going to join us in about a half hour. He was a first-round draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers out of Ohio State back in 1971. And his NFL career kind of took a really weird turn. And I want to let him kind of tell his story. Tony and I had lunch with him a couple of weeks ago down at the Canyon Inn. And I got to tell you, it was a really interesting conversation. He's a really sweet man, and I'm looking forward to him joining us and telling his story. Dom, you like that Maiden talk, do you? Okay, well, there's going to be more of that tomorrow night when Pecan joins us. He's like an Iron Maiden black belt. In fact, you know what's funny, dude? When I grew up in Jersey, like in high school, there was this weird thing with metal. I don't know if you guys had this, Tony, in your high school, but the crew that I was running around with, you were either a Maiden guy or you were a Judas Priest guy. And I hitched my star to the Judas Priest bandwagon. I was running with Halford and KK Downing and all those guys. I saw Judas Priest a couple times live back then. They were really good. But I never really went full Maiden. I never really did. Did you ever go full Maiden?
I never went either. I like both, but I never chose a side and I also was just kind of just in on the early Motley Crue train when people were kind of doing the Maiden, and I was doing Livewire with Motley Crue, and just kind of getting my Black Sabbath on, my Ozzy on, and following those guys. I was also, I'll be honest, when Iron Maiden was prominent, I was a younger kid, and I'm like, dude, the Skeletons, man, they're kind of creeping me out right now.
The mascot, Eddie, their mascot,
Eddie was creeping me out, dude. But then I got into their music, I got into their music, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I got into Ozzy's, what do you want to call Ozzy's? The whole bat biting and the upside down crosses and the
Ozzy Osbourne hijinks, we'll call it just hijinks.
Ozzy Osbourne hijinks, yeah, perfect.
A lot of hijinks. Back then, stuff like urinating on the Alamo, Tony, things like that. Which Ozzy did back in the early '80s. By the way, he peed on the Alamo, and then they banned him from literally setting foot, I think, in San Antonio for life. They just let him back in. I'm dead serious.
I know.
Finally let him back in. He's on a walker now. And they're like, all right, you can come back. I don't think you pose a threat anymore, Ozzy. Escobar, thank you, my brother. Checking in. Now, Escobar's coming in with a super. I see a dollar figure, but I don't see any question or anything. He's just here, take a 5 spot.
Okay. Dude, Escobar, I love it, man. Yeah, thank you, dude.
I do. Maybe it's the Maiden. Maybe it's the Maiden, dude, that's touching a nerve with these guys. If we talk about Maiden, maybe we'll get more supers. I'll do whatever it takes, Tony.
I got to give them love, too, and we're going to give the set list to the show here and then give some love to Los and Flux Funding here in a second, but I got to give love to any band that says, you know what, we're going to buy ourselves our own plane. And Bruce Dickinson's going to be the pilot of that plane. You got to respect. You got to just tip your cap.
I got to kind of go behind the curtain right now, Tony, because while we're talking about Bruce Dickinson, I think over the weekend, like a lot of stuff goes down, and I don't even remember what I did a couple of days ago. That's very common with me. I'll engage in some activity or some action, and I'll completely forget that it ever happened. So, Tony, I'm pretty sure over the weekend I was scrolling around Twitter late at night, as I've been known to do, and I think I bookmarked a picture of Bruce Dickinson in front of the Iron Maiden private jet that you're referring to. And the best part is, Tony, he's in a pilot's outfit. Okay.
What didn't he get his license?
Yeah.
He fly the
thing? Flies their plane, dude. He
flies.
That's
what I thought.
The flipping plane.
I love it, man. I did not expect to start the show talking Bruce Dickinson.
I didn't either.
His pilot license, but that's okay. Let's roll, dude.
So anyway, when you look through bookmarks, take a look, because I'm pretty sure I got him in his white pilot suit, just to kind of fortify. Boy, look at this, dude. Who knew? Tony, the secret to our success, I think, rests in the hopes and dreams of Iron Maiden fans all across the bay. I had no idea, you guys. Get NorCal Refrigeration up there. He's throwing a 20 down.
I will in one sec, dude, but there's the photo.
See,
there, let me enlarge. Let me make
you got to enlarge it. You got to enlarge it. Can you make it even bigger? Can you take up the whole screen? I want the whole screen. And now, Tony, let's examine this for a second. You got Dickinson when he's not on stage singing for Iron Maiden, when he's not fencing competitively, okay? Fencing competitively, he's flying the Iron Maiden plane around. Now, if you see the plane, do you see the logo on the plane?
Yes, I do. Yes.
It looks like they got some kind of tree or something, like the Joshua tree, almost painted up by the pilot's window. But there he is, dude.
No, that's like
white.
Dude,
he's got his pilot whites on, Holmes.
That is like a silhouette of Eddie, I think, is what that looks like. A tree. It's a silhouette of Eddie.
That's even better.
Here's the best part: is it's called Ed Force One, not Air Force One. Ed Force One.
Can I get a laugh track of your choice? I need that after you're talking about Ed Force One. Give me a Richards. Give me something, Tony, for the love of Christ. I need something. Oh my God. I'll do. Iron Michael do fine. Mark Graves checking in. Iron Maiden's flight number 666. Dude, John Joseph, the trooper. I had no idea. Dude, I really didn't know. I didn't know this was a hotbed of Iron Maiden activity, but thank you guys.
Well, and hold on too. Let me give some love to NorCal HVAC, NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC. Dude, for the soundboard Maiden all day. Hell yeah. And by the way, Paulie, I was thinking about this. I want to play, like, dissect NorCal Refrigeration song like tomorrow night's night flight. I think is the perfect time to dissect his song.
My bad. And I know I only stopped it yesterday because NorCal, let me tell you why I did that. I stopped that because I want like a proper examination of the song. Like I didn't want to play it and then just say like, hey, see you tomorrow. I want to play it, stop it, listen to it, talk about it, digest it, get people involved. Anyway, Tony, good work. Thanks for the Bruce Dickinson. See, I do contribute. I contribute to the bookmarks. My stuff goes late at night. You got to keep your eyes open. I told you it was a real thing. Dickinson in his pilot whites, Tony. All right.
Dude. Here we go. Let's shout out some Los. Should we shout out some Los? Because Los is one of our dear friends and now partners, like Flex Funding, dude. By the way, Paul, I know you've been in contact with Los since he's been back from Japan.
I talked to Los today, dude. I was emailing Los this morning, Tony. I had my morning coffee. Los and I are kicking shit back and forth. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, Flex Funding. Let's talk about him. Carlos De La Fuente, great friend of ours here on the Polymac Particle Show. You can give him a shout, 925-250-4894. Carlos at myflexnow.com. He is a money lender. He's got 26 years of experience. He is a San Francisco native. He fits in great with this scene. And he's here to help you out of any kind of jam that you might find yourself in, financially speaking. Of course, first of all, and probably most importantly with Carlos, and I really believe this, like you can trust him. He is a stand-up guy. He is Tony, I think you're muted again, pal. I'm just throwing that out there. I think. So yeah, you got to unmute. So when it comes to finances, mortgages, private money loans, again, we're talking about your money, your family's money, your business's money. You do have to have that trust. And that's why I'm very comfortable to represent Carlos at Flex Funding, because you can trust him. And he's going to treat you more like a family member than a client. Like he's actually concerned with you, your life, your family, your standing, your job. Like he asks a lot of questions, like so he can get to know you and then go to work for you. Now, Carlos can help you right now today, no delays whatsoever. He specializes in HELOC loans. That's a home equity line of credit. And the best part of dealing with Carlos or working with Carlos, Tony, is there's no appraisal fee. So it's not like he's going to do a lot of work for you. You guys get in business together, you open the bill, and then there's all this hidden fee stuff. He's not like that. There's no hidden appraisal fees whatsoever, no escrow, no title fees. And then Tony, also, you were talking about jumping Johnny Lund a couple of minutes ago before we joined the show, and you were saying like, because we've been wanting to get John Lund on the show, on our show.
Dude, I love John. He's such a great dude, on and off the air.
Johnny Lund for life, dude. If Johnny Lund's running for president, he's got my vote. I'll vote twice for Johnny Lund. But the thing is like we've been having a hard time getting on the same page. He's super busy. We're super busy. And that's kind of the thing. Carlos at Flex Funding, he understands how busy everyone's days are. You're trying to hold down a full-time job. You're trying to raise a family. You're trying to pay your bills. And then you do like what Creative Tony's doing. You're off to every like sporting event with your kids, under the sun. You're here, you're there, you're at practice. You got to by the way, Tony, real quick on the youth sports thing, you know what I don't miss? When both my kids were playing Little League and you had the bags of gear and the catcher crap, like James was a catcher, like the car would start to smell a locker room.
Dude,
like
I got buckets of baseballs. I got catcher's gear. I got a home plate that travels with me. I got a folding bow net. I got, and by the way, the bags that these kids have now, they're on rollers, dude, and they've got like 4 different pockets for different bats.
Tony,
like you guys,
they're on rollers. Are you serious?
No, swear to God, with the handle, like you're walking through the airport. Like
Tony, I got to tell you, when I was a sports dad, my kids are much older than your kids now. They're in college and all this, but my kid, they didn't have that kind of technology yet.
Dude,
there was no rolling technology. I was carrying those bags over my shoulder.
Do me a favor. I'll find it later on the show. The Boomba bag. The Boomba bag is the big craze these days.
I don't even know what that is, Tony. Maybe if I take a loan, Tony, if I get a loan from Carlos at Flex Funding, could I afford a Boomba bag or whatever it's called?
You should see the catchers, like the catcher, one of our catchers on our team, the bag that he has, I could literally like do like a fetal position and lay inside the bag.
Well,
it's freaking big. It's out of control. But back to Los. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say last thing on that Boomba bag. Is that am I pronouncing it right? Boomba bag?
Boomba.
It's fun to say. Try it at home. Tony, I want to say that based on some of the rents, some of the cost of rentals in San Francisco, maybe you could rent that bag out. You know what I mean? Just have a guy like live in a bag in your bag overnight, $500 a month, no utilities included. Take care of your own electric bill as well.
It's outrageous, dude. By the way, I wanted to say about Los, we talk about the particles and about like the trusting Los and how you met Los organically. It wasn't like some kind of cold call or anything.
No, not at all.
The PMP Army is already like interacting with Los on the side, because I know that our dear friend Don Peralta is actually working with Los right now and talking business with Los right now. So it's like, it's not just us. We can talk. You'll meet Dom on March 27th if you come to Longbridge Pizza. Hopefully Los will be there too. And dude, it's a trust thing, and it's a partnership, and it's a friendship, and I love hearing that part of the PMP Army is already engaging with Los. And dude, 26 years in the biz, by the way.
Thank you.
Local yokel, SF State Gator. I mean, I love the fact that he's born and raised here. Nothing against transplants, but I love the fact that he's born and raised here because he knows the freaking area. Because this area is so unique. So I love that he knows it, Paulie.
Couple of final comments on Los. These are just personal notes now, but last week, not only is he a stand-up guy, 26 years in the biz, and a San Francisco native, Tony, I want to remind you, last week when Los got back from Japan, I looked over at the comments line. Dude, he was dropping kiss information on me on the comments line. He was shouting. I'll never forget this. See, this kind of stuff I'll remember forever, Los. Seriously, like this tells me who you are. Carlos was like, I forget, we were talking about the Kiss Army or something. Maybe it was when Tolbert was on, and then Carlos texted, he commented on the line. He goes, guys, don't forget the Peter Criss drum solo in 100,000 years. I'm like, bro, how could I? How could I? I've been listening to that since I was 11 years old. So anyway, Carlos de la Fuente, that's your guy. And to make things, I think, a little bit more digestible, because a lot of this language, I think, can be confusing to a novice, and that includes me. Like, I'm not a polished financial expert, hardly.
But that's why you go to the pros, dude. Carlos is a pro. That's why you go to the pros.
100%, Tony. That's exactly like my car breaks. I don't open the hood. I go to a mechanic. I'm not messing around.
Dude, I went for a smog check yesterday, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. Just I'm going to drive my car into your smog check area. I'm going to leave, and you're going to call me when it's ready. That's because I trust you.
That's the
right?
extent of my involvement. And that's kind of like the extent of my involvement with Carlos when it comes to, and by the way, it's not just Don Peralta that's dealing with Carlos. Carlos, I'll announce this in front of everybody right now on the show. I might be coming to you to do some business as well pretty soon. For real. I'm not kidding around. So we'll be talking. And then I want to have Carlos come on the show Thursday to help explain some of his services himself. And I think it would be like useful and helpful for the listeners to get to know the face behind the business.
Exactly, Paulie. And
by the way, he's got a good face. He's got a great face.
Handsome dude, and put a face to the name. And also, I want to do the same with Neil Donardi before we do our watch party. We want people to get to know these people as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Los coming on Thursday.
All right, thank you, Tony. Great talking about Carlos and Flex Funding. Check him out. Give him a call today and see how he can help you and your family. Yes.
Hey, Paulie, before we get into our set list, I want to show you something just because we were just talking about this. Just go ahead, Tony. Just so everybody can get a taste, so you can get a taste. Okay. So there's your Boomba bag now, Paulie. So there's your baseball Boomba bag. And this thing is on rollers, dude.
Well, first of all, it looks like a golf bag. It looks like you can throw some clubs in there. Yeah, you could definitely travel with that thing. I could travel back to the New York City for a 3-day weekend easily with a Boomba bag. And let's stop it right there. Let me just take a look at dude, that thing looks like you could strap it on. What was the name of that kid who went hiking up in Alaska, the Sean Penn film, Into the Wild? He was living in that bus. Yeah, you could bring this thing up into the wild, live on a school bus for 6 months, and probably survive because there's enough compartments for like powdered food, astronaut drinks, all that crap.
And there's your wheels. There's your rollers. See the wheels at the bottom?
Listen, I got to tell you the truth, Tony. I'm glad I'm tapped out of that whole scene now. I did my time. I had a great time. My kids were good athletes, but you know what? I'm done. That's up to you now. It's all up to you. You got to carry the mission forward. All right, Tony.
Hey, Paulie, I'm hijacking the show. I'm going to take it right now. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Beautiful melody.
I don't know what's better, Paulie. Like Julie Andrews' Sound of Music or Tekashi's song from Nerds?
No contest. Tekashi, 10 times out of 10. There's no contest. Yeah. Again, with regards to our Polymac Particle Army member, our first holding down the fort over in Japan. Mark, if you're with us today, brother, that's for you. We honor you. All kidding aside, Japanese culture, you want to read a fascinating book, dude. I've been reading this book on and off for 20 years. I have it right by my bedside. Sometimes I just need a piece. You got to get the Book of the Samurai. Get the Book of the Samurai. It's just a bunch of little blurbs about like samurai mentality, samurai culture, serving your master. Yeah, it's really heavy stuff. But anyway, I love all that. I love all of that. That kind of, swatch of Japanese culture. So anyway, Doug in Japan, that's for you. That's the Tekashi theme song. Tony, give us a set list. We got to talk Dubs and Warriors real quick.
We got to talk Dubs, Warriors. We got to talk Niners decimated. I got a great text from my buddy Pete Hoffman. He goes, so are the Niners the 24.5ers now because their roster is basically cut in half? And I said, that's too muget math for me to do in the morning, first of all. Second of all, you're right, dude. So the Niner roster being just well, we can get into it. We'll get into the Niners.
We will.
We got to talk a little USF Gonzaga. And then the Gonzaga St. Mary's tilt tonight, the WCC championship. Yep. And then we've got Tim Anderson coming on at the bottom of the hour, man. And 1971 49ers first round draft pick, who, like you said, has a very unique journey in the through professional football, right? The CFL, the NFL. It's very, very interesting stuff. So he'll be on at the bottom of the hour. So that's that's the set list for today, P.
Thanks, Tony. Do me a favor when we get Tim on, because you've been good about this, and I keep forgetting. Pardon me. If you can remember, just to bring up that his roommate was Jack Lambert when we
Jack Tatum. Jack
Tatum. I mean, bring that up when we get him on the show, just in case I forget. I want to talk.
Do you think they have a story or two? I mean, you think if you're a roommate with Jack Tatum, something tells me you got a few stories.
Those guys probably not only listen to Sly and the Family Stone, they might have seen Sly and the Family Stone. That was right in that early 70s wheelhouse. All right, Tony, you mentioned the Niners real quick, just to check some boxes. Yes. Let me read to you the death notice report here. These are all former 49ers in this free agency season. Let's begin. Aaron Banks, he is now with the Packers. Charvarius Ward, he is now with the Colts. Talanoa Hufanga, he's with the Broncos. Dre Greenlaw, he's with the Broncos. That one hurt me. That one really hurt me. I don't like that one. I got to be honest with you. I know they got to make some concessions with the salary cap to accommodate Brock Purdy and what's going to be a really hefty salary. But losing Dre Greenlaw, he takes a 3-year deal with the Broncos, and that one hurts. Jalen Moore, Tony, hello, he's a Kansas City Chief. Elijah Mitchell, I want Elijah for you.
Oh, you. Yeah.
It pains me. It pains me to say he is a Kansas City Chief now.
I know.
I'm not done. I'm still going. How about Josh Dobbs? I'll throw him on the pile. He's a New England Patriot now. He signed a 2-year deal. By the way, Elijah Mitchell's deal with the Chiefs, 4-year deal.
Hey, and on the Josh Dobbs tip too, there's talking about bringing Jameis Winston in now as a backup quarterback, which I would take. I would take Jameis Winston as the backup Niners backup QB all day. I really would. But go ahead.
There's something intriguing about that. Like Jameis Winston kind of reinvented himself last year as just like really likable guy. Remember we saw him driving around the taxi cab like during the
he was on fire in New Orleans all week long for Super Bowl week. On fire.
I would be curious to see what Shanahan could get out of Jameis Winston. That's an interesting thought. It's not done, but there are rumors swirling around. And then finally, of course, Deebo Samuel. He is a Washington commander. There you go, Tony. That's a lot of 49ers heading out the door, and not a lot of guys coming in. So I guess this is what happens when you've got a franchise quarterback that you need to pay handsomely to keep up. And it sounds now, Tony, like Brock Purdy. This is what I'm kind of guessing, that he's going to wind up in the $50 million range. I guess you got to make some space. Go ahead.
You got to make some space too, but the use check loss is
really, dude. Sorry, I know I forgot to mention use check. They released Kyle Juszczyk. Thank you. God.
Yeah, and that's like we talk about vibe tribe here. I think that's a vibe thing, dude. Like Kittle and Juszczyk super tight. Kittle's wife and Juszczyk's wife super tight. I saw an article where Juszczyk's wife, quote, just to rip our hearts out when they got the news that they're just kind of devastating news. I think they really enjoyed being 49ers and being part of the 49er family. So that's a tough one, man, because of just, and also I like Juszczyk in the offense. I like having a legitimate fullback. I think his play did decrease a little bit last year.
Go ahead.
But I do think that having a legitimate fullback is something I loved about the 49er offense, and I think that's going bye-bye. They got that tight end from Jacksonville, and I feel like they're going to go maybe more 2 tight end sets and less fullback, and I don't know. It's shift. There's a major shift happening with 49er football right now, and we got to, I guess, embrace it because, I mean, dude, that many names gone. I did not expect that many names to be gone after one day.
I know. No, it's pretty shocking. And that's why I wanted to make sure everyone was caught up with these names. And I'm glad you mentioned Kyle Juszczyk. And Tony, you want to know what, dude? I agree with basically everything you just said. And I think that you and I seem to kind of be in the minority, because if you look on social media, which I probably shouldn't be doing as much as I am now because it's driving me crazy, but I'm on social media. And I've noticed that a lot of people are taking shots at Juszczyk, saying like, oh, he's past his prime. He already gave us all he could. I totally disagree with that. I think people were unhappy. Now, he had that fumble on the goal line in Buffalo. That was unfortunate. But again, I don't question Juszczyk in that moment. I actually kind of question Shanahan. Why are we putting the ball in Kyle Juszczyk's hands when he's not really a ball carrier? But to your bigger point about the fullback position, to me, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can catch. He's a great blocker. Dude, I saw him punting at the Pro Bowl. You want to give him a chance to punt? He can do that too.
Sure.
But no, I'm with you, dude. I think that it's a position in the NFL that's going to be extinct soon. Fullback is like the primordial tail. Like most teams don't even have a fullback anymore.
Right.
I'm a fan of that position. I am a fan of the fullback position because there's so many things. It's so versatile, and he was such a versatile player. And I got news for you. He's going to go someplace else, and he's going to help another team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Kyle Juszczyk's done by any stretch of the imagination. He said it yesterday, and I'm going to repeat it. Kyle Juszczyk said, if you watch my film from last year, I really challenge you to find a drop-off in any part of my game. I don't think I regressed in any part of my game. I agree with you, Kyle Juszczyk. I didn't see any drop-off either. And it brings back, Tony, like a funeral. It's like almost like a funeral for the fullback position, because one of my all-time favorite 49ers was Tom Rathman. And Tom Rathman probably played that fullback position better than any Niner we've ever seen. If you're asking me, he did it all. He did special teams, became a great receiver. Tony, here's my Tom Rathman trivia without checking. I'm pretty sure this is accurate. If you check the 1989 team stats, I'm saying off the top of my head, Tom Rathman, incredible. You ready for this? This is what
Go.
happened. George Seifert started to like Bill Wall started by giving him like little screen passes, dumping the ball to Rathman out of the flat. And then once Rathman got squared up and just came right at you, he was hard to bring down. So the next year, Walsh retires.
Humongous shoulder pads, too. Dude, like,
well, and the eye black, dude, the crew cut, the neck roll,
the
whole thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: in '89, I believe he was second only to Jerry Rice in receptions that year. Isn't that wild? Dude, I think he had. I'm going to say he had 73. If I'm not mistaken.
Wow, 73
right?
catches for 616 yards, dude. That's incredible. Wow.
Well, that's my Rain Man shit with the Niners. But Tony, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry Rice, the only guy ahead of him in receptions that year, correct?
I'm double checking on the stats, but I think you're correct. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, my bigger point, the reason I brought that up is because that's the kind of stuff that Juszczyk could do too. He was a good receiver. He was a very versatile player, and you know you can line him up all over the field, which they did. Sometimes they would split him out wide. He'd function as a wide receiver occasionally. But in any case, farewell, Kyle Juszczyk. I was a big fan of yours, and I wish you well.
Yeah, Tony, same. Big fan of Juszczyk too. And he wore the number 44 well. He represented the whole Rathman fullback vibe very well.
Yeah.
And Rising Wolf just checked in and said he wanted to give praise to Rathman's neck roll.
Yeah.
And when you mention neck rolls, there's another neck roll that we have to bring, just tip the cap to, and that is our guy McIntyre, who wore the orange neck roll. Do you remember the orange neck roll on Guy?
Of course. Hell yeah.
I mean, and dude, I remember there was a guy like Tom Rathman made me think of my childhood when I would stuff towels in my shirt, like big shower towels into my shirt to be like shoulder pads, because this is before they made.
I'm gonna applaud that. I'm gonna applaud that kind of, very
and
nice.
I would
Tony.
run around the house and I would each couch or a recliner was like a defender that I would try and bounce off of as a fullback. And so,
did you have a helmet on when you were doing all this? By the way,
yeah, but it wasn't like this kind of helmet.
No, I understand.
It was like the helmet on your shelf, actually.
Totally.
The double bar, the Ray Worshing special, I like to call it.
Yeah.
But the orange neck roll, dude, and the neck roll, the neck roll's gone. It's not, the neck roll is not a part of football anymore. Do you notice?
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. I love the neck roll. I'm a neck roll fan, dude. I don't know. Shout out Matt Millen. He was another great neck roll guy. Matt Millen with the neck roll. Yeah.
Dude, totally agree, but it's gone.
It is gone. And by the way, so speaking of gone, there's Juszczyk, and there's all your 49ers
He's
departures.
Gone, Paulie. We should play He's Gone in honor of all the Niners that are gone.
Nothing left to do but smile, smile, smile. You know that, Tony. All right, couple quick things on the Golden State Warriors. Then we're going to bring Tim Anderson into the program. Warriors win again last night at home on their own floor. They take care of Portland. By the way, props to that young, sharp-shooting Portland Trailblazer team. They really surprised me. There was a stretch in the third quarter going into the fourth where they were hitting everything.
They're
going to be good. They're a fun team to watch. Anyway, the Warriors get to win. That's their fifth straight. Some numbers. Gary Payton had a monster night, 26 points. Steph with 24. The good times continue to roll. Tony, extra particles on the Warrior game. I'm going on Thursday. My buddy Jeff Faust from the Freestone Peaches and I are going to check out the
Kings.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, dude, you're going to witness history.
I know.
If Curry hits 2 threes, you're going to witness history, buddy.
Which he will. He'll hit 2 in the first quarter probably. So I know.
Well, he was gunning the last 5 minutes of last night's game. He was gunning, trying to get a couple threes to wrap it up last night, and they weren't very close. You could tell he was forcing up some threes.
I look like Steph was kind of running out of gas. Yeah, like late in the fourth, he was kind of running out of gas, still throwing shit up there. But no, it'll happen on Thursday, and I'm psyched to get in the building on Thursday and watch it.
Paulie, I've got 2 words for you. I got 2 words for you. Buddy Ball strikes again, dude. Buddy, well, that was a lot of more than 2 words, but the 2 words were Buddy Ball, because Buddy Ball, dude, 20. He dropped 20 last night, Paulie, off the bench. I mean, that's
Buddy Ball,
dude. 6 of 9 from 3-point land, dude. Like, when you can get that kind of contribution off the bench, come on.
Nah, Buddy Ball lives on, dude. I'm with you on Buddy Ball. I like Buddy Ball. By the way, speaking of Buddy, I want to shout out all of our people on the comments line, and I want to say that I hope you guys did your homework assignment last night. I gave everybody a very strict assignment of watching Buddy Guy perform at the Rolling Stones, that track Champagne and Reefer, because Buddy Guy is his intensity level in that video. I told you when I saw it the first time, it kind of scared me. I was like,
Dude.
damn, I don't even know if I could look into those guys, a buddy guy. I'd fall to pieces. Anyway, Creative Tony, you said we got some responses in the email box. Yeah.
I was going to say, you are doing a great job of forward promoting on the show, Paulie, because later on we were going to share. I got John Joseph, one of our favorites on the PMP Army, sent in pictures of him actually doing his homework and proving that he did his homework last night. So, John Joseph, we will get to that in a little bit later in the show. I also want to give some love to, I think it was Sanchi who brought up the fact that it was in my notes too. First triple double for Jimmy Butler as a dub. So last night, which was just like when you're getting that kind of contribution from Peyton dropping 24, 26 off the bench.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield dropping 20 off the bench. And then you're getting a triple double from Jimmy Butler. And then you're also getting 24 from Steph Curry. You're getting 20 points from Moses Moody, dude.
He had a nice night. Moody had a really nice night. That's your guy. And I'm telling you, man, I like, again, my buddy in Boston said it very simply. He cut right to the point. And he goes, you guys are playing well. I'll see you in June. He's a Boston Celtic fan. And that, I'll tell you what, that would be great. I know I'm looking way ahead and I shouldn't be doing that. But if the Celtics and the Warriors got a rematch, that would be really, really good TV, great basketball. But we'll see. But underneath all that, Tony, I'm starting to get like borderline, not cocky, but I really am optimistic about this playoff run. Like, I think the Warriors are capable of pulling something special off. I do.
It's the only thing that scares me, dude, is the amount of talent elsewhere in the league. Like OKC's and I hate to say it, but your LaFlop and the Lakers, they're really good.
Yeah.
And then you've got Denver, and then you've got the whole dude. Then on the eastern side, you got Cleveland, who's just like Boston. Like you said yesterday, Boston needs to worry about Cleveland before they start talking about any sort of June basketball or late May basketball. So it's going to be a very interesting postseason. I'm freaking fired up for the postseason because I was like 20 games ago I was thinking, okay.
Same here. Pre Jimmy
over.
Butler, really, as we were all kind of down in the mouth. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Butler, the vibes are strong too.
Unbelievable.
Butler was talking about they was talking smack to Buddy Hield and Buddy about spelling the word connector. I think I saw some video like, and Buddy's like, Jimmy's like, you can't spell the word connector. Yeah. And then Warriors PR people, not Raymond Ritter, other PR people started helping him out.
I understand.
Jimmy Butler was saying like, don't help him out. What are you doing? I'm just saying there seems to be a very strong vibe and strong connection between these guys with Butler coming into the mix and really adding quite a boost to the team, man. Like that's, I don't know. It's kind of the opposite. Well, I was going to rip on Sammy Hagar, but I won't.
No, yeah, we're trying to wean ourselves off of that at this point. Sammy's a good guy. Listen,
Sammy's a good guy, but
he's a good guy. Hey, you want to grab 55? Go ahead, do that all you want, but just don't get involved with Van Halen. That's my only.
How about the video, dude, of Sammy Hagar in the jail cell, like he's holding onto the bars and he's
yellow
got the
jumpsuit, dude. Jumpsuit. You got a yellow jump. Doesn't he have a red headband on too with the curls? Shaking the bars, yeah. I can't drive. All right. Is Tim Anderson ready to join us yet, Tony?
Not yet, Paulie, but in moments. Tim will be joining us in moments. Once he gets set up, we'll get him on the show.
Hey, great call on Hagar in the yellow jumpsuit behind bars, dude. Behind bars.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna make a parallel about how Hagar like boosted Alex and Eddie Van Halen and Michael Anthony because I think they were there was weirdness between them and David Lee Roth, and then they had a little hiatus, and then in comes Hagar, and I think it boosted their spirits. I'm not saying Hagar is Jimmy Butler, but I'm saying that it boosted.
Tony's going to talk himself into a corner. Tony's painting himself into a corner.
I'm not. I'm saying that Hagar boosted the spirits of Alex and Eddie Van Halen and Michael Anthony, and I think that Jimmy Butler is doing the same for Draymond, Steph Curry, and the Dubs. That's all.
I could rock with some 3-lock box too, NorCal. I feel you on that one. 1, 2, 3-lock box. You know what else I like? Nice. I like Only One Way to Rock. I like that one, and I like his solo stuff, dude. The solo stuff is good. The track he did, Heavy Metal, that's a good one too. Bada 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 bang.
Yeah.
Good track, yeah.
And Paulie, I'll always stand by the song "Finish What You Started" because of the funky sound of that tune with the really good rhythm section on that tune. Alex and Michael Anthony really shining on that song too.
I always felt like that. Yeah. That song you're talking about, I like that song too. I always felt like that was Eddie trying to do like a Mark Knopfler, like Dire Straits thing. He had
Yeah.
that kind of clean tone, and he was finger picking. It sounds great. I mean, Eddie could do whatever he wanted to. It sounded awesome.
Hey, Paulie, this is gonna be my new signal when we have somebody in the green room waiting patiently for us to bring him on board. Because
Excellent.
Paulie,
Yes.
Mr. Tim Anderson has joined the program. I'd like to bring him to the bring him on stage if
Yes,
you would allow
please.
me. All
Yes,
right,
please. Bring him
here
in.
we go. There he
Hey,
is.
Hey, Tim
How are
Anderson.
you?
Good day to you, sir. How you feeling today, Tim?
Good, good. How about you guys? You seem to be on track.
Yeah, man, we're doing our thing. You know, Tim, we're doing our thing. We're talking about Golden State Warriors. We're talking about NFL free agency. And I want to introduce Tim to the audience. So Tim Anderson is a guy who we met a couple of weeks ago down at the Canyon Inn, and we had a great lunch with Tim. Tim kind of told us his story. It's a very interesting story, highly decorated defensive back coming out of Ohio State in the 1971 NFL draft, and the 49ers selected him in the first round. And things didn't go exactly according to plan, Tim, but I thought this would be a good day to give you an opportunity to tell your story, because we have a lot of 49er fans that watch this show, Tim. This is like a very heavy 49er fan kind of destination. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your experience at Ohio State. And, you know, in fact, you should talk a little bit about playing in the Rose Bowl as you were a senior and knowing that your next stop was going to be in the NFL. That must have been an exciting time in your life, Tim.
It was. Actually, we had a very good team. They called us super sophomores. We won the first national championship in 1968-69 season, playing in the Rose Bowl against USC and O.J. Simpson and that crowd. Good game. We had positive traction all through college, including our senior year up until the Rose Bowl. We lost one regular season game and one Rose Bowl, 1971.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got to ask you, Tim, because I know about the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, all that bad blood. It goes on forever. How are you? Oh, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on Michigan. I'm going to give you a chance to let it fly. Yeah.
Well, they are our arch enemy, and they will
Yeah.
always be our arch enemy. Woody Hayes indoctrinated us when we got to school there that we saw him lose to Michigan, and he said that's the last time we'll ever lose to those son of a bitches.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that like? What was it like playing for Woody Hayes, man? That's a legendary name in college coaching. I mean, tell us about that. What it was like to play for Woody Hayes.
Well, it was great. You know, we started out not even ranked as we went into our sophomore year. Freshmen couldn't play. We had our own freshman team in which we played the varsity a week before regular season in the stadium. And the only people who were allowed to attend is the students and the faculty. And as we started through the game, we started scoring on the varsity until the second quarter. Woody says, "Okay, we're going to stop. Everybody leave the stadium."
Yeah.
we were beating the seniors
Nice.
24-0.
Wow.
At that time. So we knew we had a pretty good team. Most of the guys started as sophomores on the varsity that next year.
Yeah.
One real great thing, Lou Holtz was our defensive backfield coach at the time.
Wow.
Where he came through.
Yeah.
So we had some great coaches, some real good players. And we went undefeated our sophomore year and won the national championship.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what an amazing accomplishment, man. Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous. As we went on to our junior year, we went undefeated until we hit Michigan in
See?
Ann Arbor.
See?
And, wouldn't you know, they upset us in Ann Arbor. Woody was trying to get on the bus underneath the stadium after the game.
Right.
A fan hit him in the mouth.
Damn.
The police came and we had to have an escort out of the stadium
Wow.
to the airport, in which Woody came back, from that game and didn't go home. He went to the office and stayed for a week.
Wow.
The film.
Wow.
So
Wow.
after that week was up, he came out and he threw the projector up against the wall. And he said, well, we'll get those son of a bitches next year. So
yeah, man.
That was the real shocker.
Yeah.
That next year, we went on to be undefeated again, and we beat Michigan, of course.
Yeah,
And,
there you go.
So, Tony, do you have I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead, guys.
Well, Tim, just before we get to your NFL career, you were roommates with Jack Tatum. I just wanted to know what that was like being roommates with Jack Tatum, because I could see the two of you, because we've gotten to know you a little bit, Tim, and you're a very, very fun personality and very fun person to hang out with. I bet you the two of you must have had a good time together in college, dare I say.
Great time, absolutely great time. Jack's a quiet person till you get to know him, and then he, comes out with some good singers. And
yeah,
very entertaining to be around. But we were best friends. Actually, hung out together. Not only were roommates on the road, etc. So, as we went down through our college career, we couldn't believe it. He got drafted by Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
And I got later drafted by San Francisco. So
yeah, that's great.
We're going to get an apartment on Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Hey, man, I got to ask you too, Tim, when you guys got drafted, we're talking 1971. Like that's an incredible time in San Francisco history. You got the hippies, you got flower power, you got all that stuff going on. Like that must have been a huge transition for you coming from like conservative Ohio into like San Francisco, the haven of hippie activity in the country. Like that must have been just a wild time to be in San Francisco, right?
Well, it was, but let me go back and tell you the atmosphere, of course, in Berkeley at that time, 1968, was very up hippie like. And if you remember, they kicked everybody out, all the revolutionary groups out of Berkeley.
Yep.
And they all came to Ohio State in the spring of 1968.
Wow.
I don't know where you went.
Yeah.
And in the spring of 1968, we found Woody said, "Okay, meet me on the Oval." They had this big crowd gathering out there.
Yeah.
And so the whole team was out there, and he's saying, "You see these son of a bitches here? They're no good. Don't hang around with them, right?" So
yeah.
My God, they were seemed to be some great people with some values.
Yeah.
So
sure.
we pretty much said, "Well, what's wrong with that, Coach?"
yeah.
Hey, Tim,
we had some good times.
I can only imagine. Do you, Tim? Do you go back to the Horseshoe at all? Do you go back to Ohio State, or have you stayed connected with the Buckeyes at all? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I go back every year. Try to catch at least one game back there and check out the atmosphere. It hasn't changed too much. Matter of fact, this past year, it was good to see the boys step up and win a championship. That was
you go.
Yeah.
Have you crossed paths with like 49ers that went to Ohio State, like say Dante Whitner or Nick Bosa even? Like have you have any connection to those guys at all?
Yeah, I said hi to them.
Yeah.
You don't get a real chance to meet those kids.
Yeah.
But Alumni Day, you might get a chance to say hi.
Yeah.
But a great bunch of guys.
So, Tim, let's talk about your kind of experiences in the NFL. So you're drafted in 1971. You're a first-round draft pick, man. So there's very high hopes for you as a San Francisco 49er, and I'll let you kind of take it from there. once the Niners drafted you, I know you told us when we had lunch that the negotiations kind of got off on the wrong foot and then things kind of spiraled. But I think it's better if you tell us. So, like, tell us about what happened after you got drafted by the Niners.
Sure. Let's go back. We had 4 first-round draft choices on that team. John Brockington, Leo Hayden, Jack Tatum, and myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So Jack and I are roommates, so we're sharing all information, and so it went like this. I got drafted, and a congratulation call came in from the 49ers, and pretty elated to be coming to the West Coast.
Sure.
And after about 2 weeks, I came out to visit the 49ers, who had just moved into, I think, Candlestick.
Yeah.
And we were down in Redwood City, Red Morton. And I had a chance to talk with Dick Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
Coach and general manager at the time, a great defensive coach, well-renowned. And one thing had not happened, and that is I had asked him to call my agent. My agent, Jack's agent, John Brockton's agent, were all the same agent, including Frank O'Hara from Penn State, Tony Giordano, right?
Yeah.
And I said, why haven't you been in contact with my agent? And of course, they said, well, you don't need an agent. You don't need, I said, what do you mean I don't need it? He said, oh, we only make one offer.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I said, this is kind of unique because I'm talking with Jack, who's dealing with the Raider organization. He's telling me this back and forth, but this was a shocker. So I was in the locker room. We got a chance to meet John Brody, who was quarterback at the time, 1971.
Sure.
And so I introduced myself. It was a great meeting. And he said, but you know what, Tim? He says, I hope you make these son of a bitches pay because they haven't paid people around here.
That's
And
right.
Wow.
I said, wow, I didn't think too much of it. I'll make them pay. So as time went on, I'm thinking, wow, what have I got myself into here?
Yeah.
As time went on, spring or summer practice, I'm holding out. There's no talk. So, I talked to called Dick Nolan up, say, what's going on? You know, why can't we negotiate and get this thing? No, we don't negotiate. This is what we offer, and that's it.
Wow.
So I said, you got to be kidding me.
Huh.
So from that point, I said, well, my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Jimmy Steelwagon, who was our Outland Trophy winner at Ohio State and teammate, All-American teammate of mine, he was Green Bay's second-round draft choice that year and went to Canada. So Jimmy calls me up and he said, hey Tim, listen, the owner and coach here said they really like to talk to you, right? Yeah, that's what for? He said, yeah, come on, you gotta talk to, just talk to him. And I did. So they said, well, what do you want? How much money do you want? I said, don't want to talk about money with you. You know, I'm going to San Francisco. So as time went on, I had to follow up, and I did go to Canada to visit, and they actually offered me a decent amount of money.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I said, well, okay, I'm going to go back and give San Francisco one more chance.
Sure.
Hey, Tim, sorry to interrupt you, but quick question. Were you doing this all on your own, or did you have your agent or any help from anybody else to help you with these negotiations?
Well, actually, Tony Rosano was my agent, and he was
Mhm.
filling in all the backstories and San Francisco wouldn't talk to him.
Right.
Which I actually did a study and found out that San Francisco at the time was the lowest paying team in the league.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, the Morabito family was who owned the team at the time.
All right, the Morabitos. Yeah.
Yes, was not a wealthy a bunch, but they had money
Sure.
to pay people.
Yeah.
And as I got further into studying the NFL and how teams were paying people, I found out a strange thing that most of the first round draft choices who were white got paid more than first round draft choices that were black.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was, a big topic coming out of the late 60s.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
For the nation. So,
Yep.
I said, man, I talked with Dick Noll. I said, I'll talk to him one more time. And he told me, don't worry about all that. Just get out here and see our new stadium, Candlestick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fine you for every day you miss camp.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Wow.
And how can you fine me when you haven't signed me?
That's a good question. That's a good legitimate question. Yeah.
So as time went on, I had dropped the ball and said, if you don't come on and sign me, then I'm going to go to Canada. And he said, oh, no, you won't. You won't go up there. Nobody goes there. Okay. But I did.
Yeah, man.
And it created a good situation personally for me. But I had this real sour part in my gut.
I bet. Yeah.
About not coming to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Wow. And this Canada, you went to Toronto, right, Tim?
Argonauts.
Yeah, the Argonauts. Yeah.
Argos, the Double Blues.
Hey, I want to applaud Toronto for being as aggressive as they were and giving you an offer that was respectable.
Oh, yeah, it was very good for a first round draft choice.
Yeah.
So I was the first first round draft choice to leave the NFL and go outside the league, which did not go over too well.
I bet. Hey, Tim, how was the difference in terms of the talent level? Like, how much better or not did you find that the Canadian Football League players were as opposed to the NFL? Like, how much of a difference was there between the skills or talent of both leagues?
There is a lot. There is a lot of difference.
Okay.
They have 12 men on the field instead of 11. They have some different rules. They're the same blocking and tackling, but things are a bit different. I found it interesting to play. No such thing as man in motion and all that kind of stuff. So, it was actually a good game. I enjoyed the game. So we went to the Grey Cup, all that stuff. So as time went on, Paulie, I I was thinking of, I don't want to. I want to go to San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
So, my third year up there, Jack White caught a flight up. He phoned me up and he says, "I'm going to come, and talk with you." I said, "Good, come on up." So we talked, and actually, the 49ers, wanted to uh, get me out of there, and I thought that was, really, really kind of interesting. And so as things developed, we were able to get out of Canada in 1974.
74. Okay.
Yeah. So
So Tim, 3 seasons in Toronto?
yeah,
3. Okay.
yeah. So I did sign a contract under the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of funny. It was for a nice package that I was going to fly out to San Francisco, and we're going to do a mock signing at the Jack Tar Hotel. And the press is all there, and the coaches, and everybody's there. And we did it. We did it.
Nice.
So, all through this day, I'm talking to the press, sports writers, and we're saying what a great thing to get back to California, San Francisco. So at the end of the day, I finally got a chance to talk with Coach Dick Nolan.
Yeah.
And at the time, I said, "Coach, listen, because we had some words.
Yeah, I
Sure.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
It was it's crazy stuff. We'll have to save that for a book or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But at the end of the day, I finally got a chance. I went up to Coach Nolan and I said, "Coach, I hope we can let bygones be bygones and go out here and see if we can get a championship." And Dick looked at me and he said, "You know what, Tim?" He says, "As long as I'm the coach here, you'll never play."
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like a personal
So-
thing for him. It sounds like he took it very personally when you went to the Canadian League. He
think
just,
so.
yeah.
Well, and also though the Morabitos, it sounds like there was a change
Yeah.
of heart. Let's bring Tim back to the fold and bring them back to the Niners,
Yeah.
but the head coach still wasn't willing to play you. That's outrageous, man.
No, he hadn't let go of the past.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
I was all upset. I had my wife was there. We were going to stop in and go to Hawaii, for a vacation, which we did. But it was kind of troublesome for me to think that I come out here and talk with the coach, and he's completely against this.
Yeah.
And say, as long as I'm coach here, you'll never play. So I go to Jack White.
Wow.
And I say, "Jack, I just talked with Dick, and he said, as long as he's the coach here,
Yeah.
I'll never play." And he said, he said, "Tim, don't worry about it." I said, "What do you mean, don't worry about it?" He said, No. We're going to fire Dick.
See?
Oh,
Okay. There you go. We're going to fire him.
Okay.
We're going to fire Dick. I said, "Whoa." Okay. Now, so
Wow.
that year moved out here, moved the family out. And we actually went to camp in Goleta down there, and got into the preseason. started preseason. Regular season come, and I'm sitting the bench.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Come
Yep.
on.
I'm sitting the bench, and Dick is still the coach, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, boy, I gotta get out. I gotta get out of here.
Good move.
Right,
Yeah, time to
right.
go. Yeah, it's time to go.
So,
Yeah.
Anyhow, they fired Dick after the 75 season.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Fired Dick. And so I'm saying, okay, got a chance on this one, right? And they actually hired Monty Clark as the new coach.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I remember Monty Clark. Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, Monty was under Don Shula. He had played. He had just went and joined the coaching staff down there. He played for him. He joined, and now he's got the job here as head coach of the 49ers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we did. I started all preseason, and Monty called me one day and he said, "Tim, I got to talk to you." I said, "Okay, coach." He said, "Come in and let's meet. Let's meet early. Yeah, we'll sit down and talk. What's going on?" He said, you gotta come in.
Yeah. There you go. Right.
So, so I came in and met with him, and he said, "You know what?" He says, "I just got to tell you, it's coming down from upstairs not to play you."
Jeez Louise. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh man," he said, "No." He said, "I said, well, coach, why don't you cut me
Yeah.
or trade me?
Let me go play somewhere else. Yeah.
Right.
Let me go play." He said, "No," he says, that's not that simple. They don't want you to go to anybody else and play.
Wow.
They just want you to sit the bench."
They want to punish you. Yeah. They wanted to punish you. Yeah.
So, this is more like league wide. It's not just Niners. It's the NFL.
Well, when I went up there, I was the first one. Then Johnny Rogers went up there.
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis went up there, and Cousinall went up there. So now it's leading to a whole bunch of people, and it's raising the price, negotiating prices up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that's where I found that we were blackballed.
Oh.
So at the end of that exhibition season, 1976, I got traded to Buffalo.
Right.
At the start of the season, first game, it was really kind of strange how it came down. But I was at home and was watching the news, and I got traded.
Oh man, you found out by watching the news. That's rough. Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah.
So I got a call. I had to catch the night flight back there, and got back there in the morning. And at the time, Lou Saban was the coach of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And went in and talked to him right off the bat, and he says, "Well, you know what?" He says, "They sent you back here for me to cut you."
Jeez,
What?
Louise, man. Yeah.
What?
You got to be kidding me. He said, "No, you're not going to play."
Wow.
And 2 games later, I was cut.
Well, so they just sent you to Buffalo just to cut you in Buffalo.
Get me out. Yeah, they just get me out of the league.
And then Tim, you had one more stop in Detroit as a Lion. And what happened there? What was the final result in Detroit? Same kind of thing?
Yeah, I still wanted to play football. So I went to Detroit. It was okay to come and join them, and I went back there, and nothing.
Wow.
Would not play me at all. So
Wow.
I said that I'm hanging up.
Well, I understand. I can
Okay.
understand you, making that decision at that point. And as
Yep.
we kind of get ready to wrap up here, Tim, I guess I just would ask you, when you look back on that period, because you seem like you're extremely at peace with everything now, but I wonder, like, how do you have bad feelings towards the NFL? Do you have resentments, or have you just kind of said it's over, it's all in the past? Like, how do you feel about all that stuff today?
Well, I went through a lot of different changes, as you might expect. Being a football, one of the first love,
Sure.
Mhm.
and you really sacrifice and do quite a bit to stay with your teammates, and it hit me very hard.
I bet.
Hurt me and my family quite a bit. I went through some withdrawal changes that most guys might go through, but it was kind of sharp because I was being blackballed,
Man.
and a lot of the other guys who followed my footsteps didn't really get a chance. They wanted to prove something, but it was a very hurtful time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
Tim, I really got to tip my cap to you, because I can't imagine the enjoyment after being Ohio State to national championships, the career you had there.
He's an
And
All-American.
All-American,
Yeah.
future Hall of Famer at Ohio State, and you get drafted in the first round by the 49ers. You're super on top of the world, I'm sure. And then for all of this to happen, I just can't imagine the roller coaster you had been on. And I just really got to tip my cap for you for sticking to it, though, and staying and going to Toronto, and then going back to San Francisco, and then always believing that you just all you wanted was a shot to play ball.
Trying to make it work.
That's it. It was ridiculously crazy at one time.
Yeah.
Between my ears, it was,
Oh, I bet.
Quite a bit.
And it's because, Tim, I just want to say too, last thing is that it's because of guys like you that sacrificed really a hell of a lot, ultimately sacrificed your career really, so that guys today can get paid like $50 million a year. And I'm not exaggerating. That's like the average salary now for a quarterback, a good quarterback in the NFL. I just saw Daniel Jones was released by the Giants $10 million to go play with the Colts. He's a mediocre talent at best. So I'm saying, like, it's the sacrifice that you made, your journey, your experience now has allowed these guys to really enjoy being paid what they're worth, and maybe beyond what they're worth. But Tim, I'll tell you what, man, we really appreciate you being open and honest and kind of recounting your story. I know it's not easy to do that. So I just want to say thank you very much. I can see the comments line with our audience. They're all giving you a round of applause.
Yes.
They're all saying thank you for coming on and telling this. And Tim, we'll do it again, dude. We'll have you on again, and we'll meet for lunch down at Canyon Inn again, and we'll talk as we get closer to, like, preseason and football and all that kind of stuff when it comes back. But for today, Tim, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and we're not done, man. We'll do it again, Tim.
Yeah. Let's do it again. There's a lot more to the story.
For sure.
Oh, no. So I want two things, Tim, on the way out. I want the Tim Anderson Tells All book to come out.
Yeah.
We should work on that on the side. And
Let's
Tim,
do it.
all of our viewers on the comment line, they're calling you a trailblazer, and they're right. You were absolutely, you paved the way for players today. And I hope that in some way that gives you some sort of resolve that it wasn't all for nothing,
Yeah, it's really true. When you're the first to do something like this, you suffer a lot of consequences, but you can also hold your head up high because of what you did for the rest of the guys.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
That's you gotta concentrate on that as well as absorb the bad.
Well, Tim, listen, man, God bless you, my friend, and great having you on today. Stay well. Say hi to Jazz Girl for me, by the way. Tell her I said thank you. Yeah, say hi to Jazz Girl. And have a great day, Tim. We're going to talk again soon, man.
Very good. You
Yeah.
guys have a great one.
You too.
Thank you,
later.
Tim. Thank you,
That's
Tim.
all
We'll be in touch. Keep
That's
fighting the
Tim
good fight, bud.
Anderson. Tim Anderson, everybody, right here on
Oh,
Polymax
yes.
Particles. Incredible story. What a just a really nice man,
Oh,
really a gentle soul, really great talking to him. And he's one of these guys you can talk to for hours. Like we didn't even get
Yes.
into him putting OJ Simpson on his ass, which I want to talk about next time because he goes, I got
Oh.
one good shot in on OJ. He's like, it was over near the sideline, and he goes, he was like running but not stepping, kind of like what Mahomes does, like kind of tiptoeing. He goes, I just came over and laid him out, put him on his butt. But anyway, yeah, dude. And you know what's crazy? He's so right, Tony. As we get into the final moments of the show today, like anybody who is a pioneer at anything is
Yes.
always going to take their lumps. Like it's
Yep.
always the first guy over the wall always gets his head handed to him. But then it opens up the road for all the people behind him. So in a lot of ways, you're right, Tony. That was a good word to use. He kind of was a trailblazer, a pioneer of sorts.
Yeah, I can't imagine going through that roller coaster of a career, because all he wanted to do was to play football, and then he's being told he can't.
Well,
And-
it'd be like this, Tony. It'd be like if a radio station wanted to hire us and hire our show, and then we went in and they're like, "This is the offer. We're not going to negotiate." And I would be like, "Well, blank you. That's one." And then
the offer's
two,
low, and the offer's too low, and the offer's not what you deserve, and what other players are getting offered.
Yeah, and then maybe some station up in Toronto goes, "Hey guys, guess what? I'll triple that salary. Get your asses up here, and you can play all the Rush you want because the Rush guys are from Toronto." So I would have been like, "Let's go." So now I'm watching Maple Leaf hockey. I'm listening to Tom Sawyer. I'm having a great time. I'm kidding, but
Paulie, can I get a prop real quick? Because I want to just go. I'll be right back. Stand by real quick. Stand by.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Prop. Tony's been known to run away in the middle of the show. He does it a lot. We'll see what kind of prop he brings back. But anyway, thank you again, Tim Anderson. Really, really nice conversation. We will have him again. And also want to remind everybody to fast forward and promote tomorrow night. Pecan, the legendary Patrick Connor, Old Pat, Peaches, whatever you want to call him. He joins us. I see your Canyon Inn hat, T. Hang on one sec. And I just want people to know that Pecan and I last night, dude, we got into a back and forth on text that went on for hours. Okay. Hours. And you want to know what started it, Tony? A picture of Vinnie Vincent from Kiss. I'm going to show you the picture that started. I'm going to swear to God. I'm going to show you this is what started the whole thing. Hold on.
That's fantastic.
And then, of course, I'm like, Pecan, you got to come on the show. Everyone's been asking for you. And he was like, yeah, man, yeah. But this is what started the whole thing. Let me show you how I captured his interest. I said, Pecan, Vinnie Vincent needs your services. There he is.
Oh, my God.
Vinnie Vincent was only there for a couple of records and he was out, but he put the makeup on. He was part of the Kiss family.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Anyway, thank you again, Tim Anderson. Tony, the final
I wanted to just throw on my Canyon Inn hat just because that's the hat that Tim was wearing too, and it's a Niner Canyon Inn hat. Get to the Canyon Inn. We love Tim. And the owner's name is Tim as well, for the Canyon Inn in Redwood City, basically a Niners museum. And also, Paulie, before we exit, you asked people to do some homework last night. So I wanted to give a spotlight onto some of the homework if you would like to.
It wasn't so much as that I asked them to do their homework. I kind of demanded it. It was like an edict. I said, here's your assignment. Go make it happen. And I just trying to encourage people to go watch. I said, go to YouTube and pull up Buddy Guy singing with the Rolling Stones, Champagne and Reefer. How's this for lyrics, by the way, Tony? Give me champagne when I'm thirsty. Give me a reefer when I want to get high. Okay. And then Buddy Guy, there ain't no law when a man want to smoke a little J. So anyway, there he is. Staring at Richards, dude. Staring at him. Yeah.
Hey, this is a screenshot from John Joseph. He sent us a couple, and the email is titled, I completed my homework, as the email from John Joseph. And he said, look at those. Look at that. Those are just great shots, man. Look at the joy on Buddy's face right there. My God.
It's kind of like a blues thing. I mean, again, they're playing a Muddy Waters song, but he goes like, come on, Mick. Like you can see, he's like, here's what I do. Let's see what you got, Mick. Come on, give it to me. Yeah. And there he is, just squaring off with Keith. Last thing, and by the way, John, I'm glad you watched it. It's a great track and a great moment. Tony, want to hear like the ultimate sign of respect at the end of this song? Keith Richards takes his guitar off and gives it to Buddy Guy as like a tribute for him to keep. So that's just like honoring the greats, and Richards giving Buddy his axe is a pretty cool moment in that film. I recommend it to anybody. It's just a great movie.
Dude, it's incredible. And I'm so glad John Joseph, thank you for following through. And if you haven't done it already, do it. The PMP Army, get involved, because you as Mike Damone said in Fast Times, you won't regret it. So
Okay.
I just appreciate JJ sending those in. So thanks, John
Hey,
Joseph.
Tom Peralta checking in, talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan and Buddy Guy. Nothing wrong with that either. By the way, you ready for this one? Hey, Rags, you can back me on this. You know, this is one of my missed opportunities in life. So I think it was like summer of '88, maybe, Tony. I was playing in a band at that time, and I was ready for this. A lot of people in California don't even know this, but I'm actually a drummer. That's like my first instrument is drums. So I was playing drums in this band, and the guitar player in my band, Richie, shout out Richie Moscola. I know you're out there somewhere.
Nice.
Kind of a Richie Sambora figure, same kind of look, great guitar player.
Sure.
And he goes, this is what he said to me, my friend Richie. He goes, hey man, I got tickets to, ready for this? You just go ahead and punch me in the face next time you see me. He goes, hey man, I got tickets to go see at Madison Square Garden Jeff Beck and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Ooh.
And I go, no, I'm good. Now I'm all set. Thanks. I know. What a jackass I am. And then Stevie Ray passed away, I think, the next year. I think,
dude.
Yeah.
I had something similar with Garcia. I got offered tickets in 1994 to go see the Garcia band at the Warfield, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
You want to see him? That's where you want to see him. That was like going into a church service, seeing Jerry at the Warfield. It was like a religious experience. It really was.
I was like, I'm good. I don't.
No, I'm all set. I'm all set.
And he passed away the following year. It's like,
no, I'm so psyched. I'm so psyched I didn't get to see Jeff Beck and Stevie Ray Vaughan square up. Who'd want to participate in that? And by the way, I bet you I chose to do something totally effing lame instead of going to that gig.
Same.
But to defend myself, you know what I would say, dude? I would say that I thought I would have a lot of opportunities to see Stevie Ray Vaughan down the road. Turns out, I was painfully wrong.
At least you have that excuse. I didn't have that excuse with Jerry because Jerry wasn't doing so well. So I was like, I should have seized the moment.
The fact that you never saw Garcia, that's a tough one for me to get by.
I know.
It's a tough one because you're so about the music and you're so about the dead and you understand the music. You've seen all the offshoots of Bobby and Phil and Mickey and Billy and you've seen it all. So I know you get it, dude. I know you get it. I just wish you could have felt the full impact of Jerry Garcia in a room with his guitar on because it was a hell of an experience. It really was. Hey, Tony, before I lose my way and I get lost out in the woods, I want to do another flex funding spot for our friend Carlos.
And look at this, but I'm going to throw Los up on the screen only because look at it. He just checked in. So I'm like, you're about to talk about Los.
Yeah.
And that's Los from Flex Funding. And he says, thankfully I saw Prince before he passed. I did too, Los. Thank goodness I saw Prince before he passed as well, buddy.
Dude,
what a show, too.
One of my final memories of Prince, and it's a great memory, too, is when he came in with, I mean, dude, this is when I knew Joe Lacob was next level gangster. Joe Lacob comes like walking in chest out, dude, and he's got Prince behind him, like with a walking stick. I'm like, this is incredible. And then, because Prince loves some ball, dude. Prince loved basketball.
Wasn't he was sitting courtside, I think. He was sitting courtside, right?
Yeah. Right next to Joe Lacob, dude. Side by side. Yeah, I like to watch Steph Curry take jump shots from half court. You know what I mean? Just like I would have loved to have heard. That's right. He's all mine. I've signed him from now until 2047. You know what I mean? Like that conversation must have been amazing. What about what about Klay Thompson? He's smooth like butter. I like Klay.
He was doing his solo tour, I think, and
piano thing. Yeah. Microphone and a piano. I think
had he already played his gig in the Bay Area, or was it?
I think it was coming up. Yeah, I think it was like coming up. I think it was like the day before. I want to go watch the Warriors with Joe Lacob, and he did.
Yeah. And then he passed not too much further, or not right after, but soon after. It's like that.
I remember there was like this period, dude, when you and I were still working at the radio station, and like I was in Tony's studio. And it was like bam, bam, bam. All these great guys started checking out. David Bowie, Prince, Glenn Fry, Lemmy.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty was like bang, 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 bang. And they all just kept coming. That was a really tough period. I remember sitting in your studio when you were talking about David Bowie and a Black Star. That final record he did. And you wanted to know the truth, Tony? I still haven't delved into it because like I don't know if I can handle it emotionally. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say you have to be ready to go on a dark, but inspirational and like beautifully dark journey on this record because it's David Bowie writing about his death.
Incredible.
Before he dies. It's really, really wild. I mean,
he turned his own death into like an artistic statement.
Yeah. It was really I was not expecting it when at the time I knew it delved into a little bit of that, but he really, really took a deep dive, and I'm like, man, good for you, David. Good for you. Just goes to show the artistic greatness of the David Bowie, man. God,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, rest in peace, man.
Wow, there's a lot going on in the comments line right now. Patty, that's cool about the Glenn Fry thing. I didn't. Yeah, that's tough too. Glenn Fry checking out that one. Listen, I got love for Glenn Fry, bro. I definitely got love for Glenn Fry. It's
Oh
another.
God, yeah, God,
Another
yeah.
tequila sunrise, for Christ's sake. All right,
Yep,
Tony.
Yep.
Let's get into flex funding and Carlos De La Fuente. He's one of our new buddies. He's one of our new sponsors. Tony's right. We met organically years ago out in Walnut Creek. Had a great time laughing. Patty was there that day too. Patty, you were hanging out right there with us that day. Patty was in the house. Yes, Tony.
I'm sorry, Paulie. Just because we have a rule on the show, and I know Los would understand. I know Los would absolutely understand.
What do you
and
need?
the comment line was on fire during Tim Anderson's interview. And thank you very much, everybody, for all your comments. But Patty, during Tim's interview, she gave us a super, and she said PMP Army welcomes Tim to the show. I just wanted to do that justice and thank Patty again for being a super. Thank you, Patty.
No, and Patty, I remember the lunch. I know exactly what you're talking about. The Ronnie Lott lunch in the city. Yeah, I totally remember that, man. And yeah, that was a sad one too. But it seemed like they all went like in a really tight circle of time. It was like bang, 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 like dominoes falling. In any case, let's get back to the present day and real life issues and challenges we all have financially speaking. Listen, living in California is financially challenging, right? You got to just accept that. You're going to take it on the chin, dude, in one way or another. Trying to deal with all the financial realities of especially the Bay Area. It's a very, very expensive place to live. So should you find yourself in a situation where, like, you know what, I could use a loan. In fact, I need a loan. You want to talk to somebody you can trust. You want to talk to somebody who knows what in God's name they're doing. That is our buddy Los, also known as Carlos De La Fuente. Give him a shout, 925-250-4894. Shoot him an email as well, carlos@myflexnow.com. If you do need cash or you want to inquire about a loan, he specializes in HELOC loans, by the way, speaking of loans. And that's a home equity line of credit with no appraisal fees. I got to tell you, that's rare in his line of work. And it's a relief, too, because he's not trying to milk you. He's not trying to take advantage of you. In fact, it's important to know this. If you do business with Flex Funding and Carlos, there are no hidden fees of any kind at any time. Fast closings, too, by the way, usually 8 days turnaround from start to finish, and you can close. There are no escrow and title fees. If I didn't throw that out there, Tony, let's get that in the mix as well. So the thing is like that, and it all spells out Carlos being a good stand-up guy. He's a San Francisco native. He's been doing this work for 26 years. And that's what I want. With all due respect, Tony, I don't want a kid who just graduated college handling my money. With no disrespect, I want a guy who's been in the game for a while. You know what I mean? I want a guy who knows what he's doing. So any final words?
It's like, Paulie, I've been in radio for what, 23 years, and you've been what, I don't know, 25. So
something,
and we kind of have a clue, but Carlos, and by the way, one other thing about Carlos, it can sum it up in 3 words: one-stop shop. Any loan question, call Carlos. He will help you out. Any questions you have, he is there to help you. Right. So I want people to realize that it's not just the HELOCs. Yes, HELOCs, definitely. But any questions he has, one-stop shop with Los. And again, he knows the Bay Area because he's from here. He's born and raised here. And it's somebody you can trust because we do. And again, we wouldn't do business. We wouldn't partner with people that we didn't trust and admire and enjoy. So
and that's a true story. I mean, there are people out there. I'm like, I don't think I want to be affiliated with this dude. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of tell this guy's shady. I don't want to be out here repping this cat. No thanks. So anyway, but Carlos says he's the real deal. And I said this earlier. If you're just joining us, thanks for coming on today. We appreciate you guys big time. But I want to say that we'll have Carlos join us on Thursday, Tony. We can have a conversation with him on the air. Kind of hear it from his own mouth and his own words. And he's also a Monster Giant fan too. So we'll be talking some baseball with Los as well.
We're 2 weeks away, Paulie. And Carlos@myflexnow.com. Carlos@myflexnow.com. Email address. I'm sure we would respond very, very quickly because he's just a good dude. Like, we talk to him all the time. Paulie, you talked to him. You said you talked to him earlier today. So
I did.
Yeah. And he also jumps on the comment line too. So thank you, Los, for checking in, and we love being partners with you, bud.
Hey, Leah Phillips, I just want to say I see you, my dear, and that's a great reminder saying hit the like button, friends. That's why not go ahead and hit that like button all you want. Hit it repeatedly like a monkey in a lab. You know what I mean? Ding, 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 ding. Just keep pressing it, whatever it takes. Creative Tony, I think we should wrap this bad boy up today. We're bleeding into hour number 2 now.
No
go
question.
ahead and subscribe to Polymax Particle. Hey, tomorrow is our night flight. Okay, so you guys go ahead and rest, rejuvenate, get your bodies and minds right. We'll see you tomorrow night for the night flight with one Patrick Connor, Old Peaches.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It has been a while. I haven't seen Pat in a while. For real. I haven't seen Pat
in ages, dude.
Yeah.
Ages.
So
but we have a lot, and a lot's going to go on between now and tomorrow night with NFL free agency. We got to talk more Warriors tomorrow.
I know.
It'll be go St. Mary's Gales tonight. Beat Gonzaga. Come on. Go
Big
Gales
time.
tonight. They played tonight in the WCC championship. Thank you all, the PMP Army, for checking in, and hope you enjoyed is maybe the wrong word to say with Tim Anderson's conversation, but hopefully you understand and appreciate why we had Tim on, because it was something that Paulie and I both felt strongly about, that
we did,
like letting people know what he did for current players and the current contract negotiations. And I feel like he should be an ambassador for the players union. You know what I mean?
I just feel like he got a raw deal. And I feel like, the way the league is so glamorous now, it's like you're a rock star if you're in the NFL, dude. You have an entourage. They film you on the red carpet walking into games. Ooh, what's Mahomes wearing today? You know, all that kind of bullshit. Like that stuff wasn't going on when Tim Anderson played in the early 70s. It was not a glamorous league back then.
No.
So it's important to give those guys time to talk about their experiences and tell their story. I feel, and I'm glad you said that, T, because I felt strongly about it too. Getting to know Tim, I'm like, you know what, dude, you got to come on the show and tell the audience about what you've been through, because it's kind of Bush. It's like, because the Niners wouldn't negotiate. Now this is I'm not disparaging the current ownership. It has nothing to do with
nothing.
And the Yorks or the Bartolos. This predates all that stuff. But for a team in the NFL to blackball a guy.
Yep.
And then get that message out throughout the rest of the league and say, like, hey, don't play him. It's
we're gonna make an example. Yeah, we're gonna make an example out of you.
And I understand that. I've been made an example of many times because of my behavior. You know what I mean? I've had to stand. So I had to stand in the corner of my chemistry class facing the wall, dude, when I was a sophomore. I'm not kidding.
I had to stand facing a chalkboard holding 2 books straight out, 2 Bibles. I had a Bible in each hand.
What'd you do?
I had to stand. I had to stand like this.
What'd you do?
If your arms fell, the clock started over.
Oh, we'll start right back at 0, tough guy. Yeah. What did you do to get the Bible treatment? What did you do?
I was flirting with this girl Sherry, and
I can't hold that against you. That's part of growing up. I don't know what you want from me.
I was writing little love notes to her and throwing them at her, and then
I got to tell you, Tony, it baffles me how I actually made it through some of my classes in high school, because I knew as a young kid, like I was sitting in chemistry classes, we're doing the elements and all this zinc and copper. I'm like, I got to tell you right now, I know for a fact I'm never going to utilize this information in my life. I'm just not.
Oh, you weren't down with the periodic table, Paulie?
The periodic tables, you know what I mean? It was all over the wall. And I know that I don't know how I passed that class. I don't, for the life of it. It might have been mercy. The teacher might have been like, you know what? Get this asshole out of here. Just graduate him. So somehow, I don't know if it was pity or anger or a combination of both, but I had no business passing that class. Now, I didn't have to hold Bibles, but he did. My chemistry teacher had me standing in the corner, facing the wall during class. Like now, today, dude, that would be like psychologically abusive. Like people, you could probably launch a lawsuit. But back then, I was just taking my medicine. I'm like, now I got to face the wall for 40 minutes.
Dude, Paulie, all of the old school Catholic school things, I got the ruler in between me and a girl when we were slow dancing, and they told me to leave room for Jesus. I got smacked on the hand with the ruler because I was talking in class. I got
leave room for Jesus, though. I could really take that into an area that's ill-advised, because like that opens up the door for a lot of comedy.
I know.
What, in terms of what, like a threesome? Like, what are we talking about here?
No, Jesus had to be in between me and the girl just to kind of make sure everything was,
So now I'm the bad guy.
Up and up.
Okay, I'm the bad guy now. And by the way, Rags, you're right. That was Mr. Lee. He's the guy who psychologically abused me. Mr. Lee had me standing in the corner. Eugene, too. Christian Amaru, my other buddy. It was the 2 of us together side by side. I'd be in one corner, and he'd have my buddy Amaru in the other corner. Again, facing the wall while he taught the class, just facing the wall. Oh my God. Some of my greatest hits. I could go all day on my misadventures. But Tony, thank you for everything today. It was great having Tim Anderson on.
It was great.
Pecan joins us tomorrow night. We one of our longer daytime shows, Tony. We're bleeding.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can I welcome just because I've never seen this name before on the comment line, but I'd like to welcome Pine Needle to the show. I've never seen Pine Needle on the comment line. I don't know if you have, Paulie, and he or she has a picture of pine needles as their logo. So what's up, Pine Needle? Thanks for coming to the show. I got to give my friend Mark Wiseman, who's a school teacher, and his comment says, "Look what fine human beings we've become. Thank goodness for resourceful teachers." So,
well,
hey,
listen,
I can only
imagine. It made me the man I am today. You know what I mean?
Dude, yes.
Maybe the man
I can only
today.
imagine, like a guy like my buddy Mark, the stories he could tell of being a school teacher. My mom was a school teacher, dude. The amount of stuff they put up with, it's just like, come on. Talk about underpaid. Meanwhile, Justin Fields and Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Jones are getting millions and millions for being a backup QB while teachers are busting their humps for 50 hours a week.
I got to be totally honest with you. In retrospect, looking back, I do have some regrets. I kind of feel bad, especially Rags, one more time for you and me. You remember Mrs. Alterman, the Spanish teacher? Dude, we had this Spanish teacher again. My sophomore year, I was up to no good as a sophomore.
Well, that's usually a year where you get into some hijinks.
Well, I was like getting like progressively more like delinquent as the years went on. As I got to say, Tony, as the Van Halen albums were coming out, I was getting more and more in trouble. But I got to say, Miss Alterman, our Spanish teacher, I'm not making this up. This is true, and I actually do feel bad about this. We were so out of control in that Spanish class my sophomore year. Dude, she retired at the end of the year. Yeah,
come on.
I know. Wow. And I'm not proud of it. I don't feel good. It wasn't like we were mean to her. It was just like we had no regard for the lesson plan or anything that was going on. We were, we had our own agenda. Anyway, I'm starting to forget. I'm starting to get like upset. Well,
this is like confession again. This is more of your confession.
No, it is.
You're
Tony.
back into the Al Davis confessional next to the concussion tent. That's good.
I heard you were a prick to your Spanish teacher. Get in here. Yeah, I want you to say 10 Our Fathers in Spanish.
Yeah, totally. In Spanish. Definitely in
Spanish. Yeah. I want you to say I want you to say 10 Hail Marys in Spanish. I want you to say 5 Our Fathers in Portuguese.
Totally.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up. All right, guys, listen. Tony, dismiss the class.
Oh, man.
Class dismissed.
Hey, some business real quick, Paulie. I just want to let everybody know Spotify, Apple Podcasts, tune in, iHeart. You can find the audio versions of these shows at Polymax Particles. And also, I just want to continue to keep the momentum going with the Bay Area Sports Collective, Bay Area SC. That's S as in Saul or S as in Soul. I'm not going to say Sam because everybody says S as in Sam. Can we do other S's, please? So S as in Soul. SC. So Bay Area SC.
Hey, for Tom Tolbert and all the other metalheads out in the audience, because Tom Tolbert is part of the Bay Area Sports Collective.
Yes.
S is in Sepultura, Tony. Sepultura. One of the do I get that right, you guys? I'm not actually a fan, but I think that's one of the metal bands out there. Sepultura, yeah.
What I'm trying to S is in like 7 Mary 3. Or I'm trying to think of other S.
How about
bands.
S is in Sonic Youth? It's hard.
Oh,
S
there we go.
Tough.
It's
tougher than
S is in String Cheese Incident. How about that?
S. Okay, now they're starting to come to me. S is in SOD. Tony, what's that stand for? Let me tell you.
Stormtroopers of Death. I got
Thank you. I have it on vinyl, by the way. Swear to God, I have it on vinyl. Yeah, March of SOD. I got it. Yeah, I do. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Fantastic. I'll bring it out. I'll bust it out.
Dude, Smashing Pumpkins. You got to go. Early, the first 2 albums for Smashing Pumpkins, I'll put them up against anything.
See, that's the problem I have with you, Tony. Now, first of all, you led me to the Pumpkins. Thank you for that. But you don't give the love that Melancholy deserves.
I love Melancholy, but if I had to recommend, I do. And Pisces Iscariot is the B-sides of all the stuff that didn't make it onto Siamese Dream. But dude, the first 2 albums, man, if I could just give somebody like if you're going on a road trip,
they're heavy as hell. They're heavy as hell.
And you want to like really get to know the Pumpkins, I would say like if you're going from here to Scottsdale driving, right, for spring training, bring both Pumpkin albums, Gish and Siamese Dream, and on the way back,
Hey.
when you're ready,
When
then
I'm
you
ready.
put on Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
By the way, they're all starting to come in now. Leah with the Stevie Nicks, Sanchi with the Santana. You guys are all over it.
Nice,
Tony, I
nice.
got to say that the I'll never forget Rod Brooks, who was going to join us on Friday, by the way, right here on Polymac Particles.
Yeah, Brooksy.
You, me, and Rod Brooks doing our first ever morning show. This is probably 1998, I would
Yes.
guess. I think it was 98.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Ticket 1050. We're sitting on the air one day. You played a Smashing Pumpkins read because Tony was producing the show, and Tony
Yeah.
came in with a Pumpkins jam. And then, and I wasn't on board yet either. I got to admit, I wasn't on board. And then I started talking to Brooksy on the air, and this is what Rod said. I'll never forget this. He made me laugh, and it stayed in my head forever. He's like, you know what it is, man? He goes, it's not that the music is bad. He goes, I just can't get down with Uncle Fester. That's what he- and I go, you know what, man? I feel you on that because no, he does not look like your typical rock star, Billy Corgan. He's an alien freak from some other planet out
No, dude.
some
But
galaxy.
Billy Chamberlain on drums, dude, and James Eha on guitar, and Darcy
Incredible,
on bass.
incredible. No, they're amazing. They're amazing,
Yes.
and they have some of their stuff is as heavy as anything you'll ever listen
Yes,
to. I'm telling you right
yes.
now, they got some stuff that's way out there.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Oh, dude, Pine Needle said the Scorpions. How do we forget the Scorpions, dude?
We are the Scorpions. Yeah, no question, dude. My favorite German rock band. We are the Scorpions. We
Oh,
are
by
here
the way,
to
Polly,
rock.
yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to. I just wanted to play the outro bit. I forgot to play the outro.
I know.
bit
I
earlier.
can't get myself
Yeah.
off the air today. We're riffing heavily.
It's
you
fun. We're having fun. It's because of the PMP Army, dude, and the vibes. The Vibe Tribe, man. It's really it's all a collective. It's the PMP Army collective as well.
Hey man, John Joseph, Nuclear Assault. That's going next level heavy metal. Nuclear. By the way, what's the name of your new band? Oh, Nuclear Assault. You know what I mean, Tony? What's the name of my band? Nuclear Assault. I'm just kicking some ideas around.
Sorry, last one, Paulie. Just because our dear friend Shannon Kaler, the Stone Foxes. If we're going S's, we got to give love to the Stone Foxes, who are going to start touring more. I keep hearing they're going to start touring more. So
That's that they all say. No, I'm kidding. They're great. The Stone Temple. Stone Temple Foxes. The Stone Foxes. The Stone Temple Foxes. They should do a night of Stone Temple Pilot music as the Stone Temple Foxes.
Shannon's not ready for that. He's not.
I
gonna
don't like
do that.
it, man. It's too heavy. The guitars are too loud, man.
Why is it so sad? Why is the music so sad? I'm like, no, dude,
It's
come on.
A lot of
it's
sadness
emotional.
out in the world. You know what I mean?
Yes,
a lot of sadness out in the world. Marky Graves, soft white underbelly. I got you, BOC. I got you, my man. Creative Tony, you look great in your robe. I decided to go robe free today. I don't want to like throw Tim Anderson off the horse. You know what I mean? Like
I was wondering if Tim was wondering why is this guy wearing a robe. But
I'm
I
sure he
didn't-
was. He was
I
probably
did-
trying to be polite and be like, oh, this kid's probably got, he's got his own challenges. If he wants to wear a robe, let him do it. But I'll join you next week as we robe up on Roby Tuesday. And again, tomorrow night, Patrick Connor. Friday, Rod Brooks, and Thursdays, anybody's guest. Show could go any number of directions. But until then, Tony, final thoughts quickly.
Final thought: is Joey Bosa going to be a 49er by the next time we take the mic?
I know
Or
that
will
the
he be a
Miami
Miami Dolphin. Yeah,
that's what I was
going
going
to
to say. Yeah, the Dolphins are interested. I don't want to say anything. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll talk about it tomorrow night. My fingers at this point are crossed, dude. There's too many guys going out the door and nobody coming in. So yeah, give me Joey Bosa at this point. I'll take him.
I sure hope. Well, yes, he does. John Lynch has a plan. He's got for all these losses. They're going to be making good additions. But holy moly, wow!
Tony, do a quick
yesterday
favor.
was tough. Yeah.
Throw the brim up one more time. The bill.
Oh, it's like Suicidal Tendencies. I could do that.
I was going to say
like,
we're Scott Ian from Anthrax. Yeah, it's the same kind of look.
I could do that.
By the way,
I could
dude,
deck out the bill too. If you want.
write if you write like Anthrax, write not on there. NOT not.
Or I would just write if you're suicide, I would write suicidal like what's his name did with Suicidal Tendencies.
Mike Muir.
Mike Muir. Thank you. Yeah.
Tony, it's funny that people don't realize today, back in the day, you walk down Haight Street, you'd see a dozen guys walking around with their bills up like that. Guys used to rock that like it's a style. Yeah.
Yep.
Strange days, man. Strange days. All right, Creative Tony. I got to go, Stacy. I got to go. The purple sock is shaking. You be good. All y'all on the comments line. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you, supers. We will see you tomorrow night on the. You're making me
8
laugh.
p.m.
8 p.m. It'll be our night flight. We'll see you then, y'all. Peace.